Well, Paul, a big thank you for joining us. And what a great way to start life back in the Championship for Barrow. How was the match against Sheffield at the weekend?
The weather was atrocious, Ben. We knew it was going to come in. It was pretty calm before kick-off. And I said to Jared Stack, we've got to win this toss here and, to give ourselves a chance because the weather's going to come in. And we were playing into the wind in the first half, but with very little rain. And we managed, an 18-10 lead into the wind. But in the second half, it cut up real rough. It comes over the stand at the McDonald's end, and it was pretty horrendous, really. So, we had it at our backs. It was difficult to play because everything's got to be real short, but we managed to kick our way out of trouble a little bit. And with them being a bit rusty and not having any pre-season games, and we've had the jump on them in that respect, I think it gave us the edge. I thought they were pretty good, very quick. I thought Thackeray was pretty sharp, caused us problems, broke us a few times, but we managed to scramble real well and in the end get the win from the boot of Ryan Shaw.
And what a try from T. Ritson as well, Paul. I mean, last year he scored plenty of tries in League One. The question would be, can he do it in Championship? Well, there's your answer.
Yeah, well, we'll give T a task of putting some kilos on, and we give him the task of 5. And Paddy Mayer, who's our conditioner, who's Will Mayer, who plays OKR's brother, very good, and he's put 8 kilos on him. So, he's pretty strong now in contact, and he's a lot stronger in contact, I should say. And we spoke about his staff afterwards, and not many people have got that try because his acceleration is unbelievable. A bit like Hakeem can stop and start and has great acceleration. So, it's a big asset to us. He's a big part of what we're doing in the community as well. And he's a great lad, and I thought it was a great try. And I thought I think only him and Hakeem could have actually created that try and finished it in the whole. In our squad anyway, and a few other squads as well.
I mean, what's your thoughts on, the challenge this season for Barrow and how well you're going to cope with that challenge as newbies to the league?
Well, I think when you start the season, you probably have 30 fit bodies, and I think everybody's struggling with injuries and COVID. We've had our moments building up to the games. We had 21 fit players for the game at the weekend. We left a couple out, but we went with our most experienced squad. So it's how we deal with injuries and how we get and COVID and stuff like that. And we can't moan about it because we've known about it for nearly 2 years now. So we've got to deal with it. And Jared Samet pulled out on the game day, which was a big blow to us because we've trained really well all week with Jared in, and he said I could go and play and get us through the game, but I didn't want to be out for a month. So it was difficult, and we pulled him out as well. And so it's how your squad functions, without players and with the restraints and restrictions that COVID brings, and how we deal with that, and don't let it bother us, and go into every game with a purpose and not worry about who's missing and who isn't playing and stuff like that. So our focus is just to be positive leading up to every game, and because everybody will be short at some stage, some weeks.
Well, let's talk about the next game then. It's a biggie, isn't it, against Whitehaven? What's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think they've had a rough start, but it means nothing. I think they've had 2 tough pre-season games. It shows you how good Swinton are when they put 90 odd on West Wales, and and then they go to a most difficult place, Featherstone Lee. Full-time squad, spent over $1 million, as documented, and so everybody's in for a rough time there. So their season will start this weekend with us. We know what it's like to go up and lose there. The fans are pretty hostile, and we know what it's like to go up and win there, and you keep them quiet. So, Johnny's a good kid, and he's just started off his coaching career, and he's got Gary Charlton behind him, who's a good friend of mine. I've got a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for the club. I think it'll be a real tough game, and they're the ones under pressure because they're at home and they've had a bit of a torrid start, and there'll be a bit of pressure on their side. We're going to go up there and enjoy it. There's a lot of people going from Barrow. We had 2,000 in at the weekend, and they're all going up on trains and buses and that at the weekend. So, we're just going to go up there and enjoy the day and enjoy the atmosphere, because it's always a good atmosphere. There's nothing like a Cumbrian derby to create a great atmosphere. And for them, it's about kick-starting the season. It's about us being solid and going up there and putting them under pressure, because they haven't won for a few weeks and they've got quite a lot to fix up. So has everybody else. But, with that in the back of your mind, performing at home, there's added pressure. So there's no pressure on us. We've got to go up there and enjoy it.
It is all about enjoying it this season, I'm going to suggest as well, Paul, because, got loads of Cumbrian derbies this year, thanks to the way Championship's composed. loads of big games. You've already taken on Sheffield this season. I mean, how much are you looking forward to it, the challenge ahead?
Well, it's a lot different from Championship 1. It's very brutal. You know, when Sheffield come out, we looked across at them and they're massive. And, they started like house on fire. They scored a nice, simple try just with an ordinary little shift play. And we slept in on an edge and we thought this is a Championship. You sleep in for a second and you get bit. But we've managed to claw our way back and take control of the game. The horrendous conditions. And what we want to do is keep the scoreboard ticking over and it put more pressure on them to play to score, which was going to be difficult because we scored 2 tries and they were opportunists. They scored a couple of tries, which were probably poor defence on our part, but it was never going to be a high-scoring game. So we took 2 points every time we got 2, and Ryan managed 5 goals in horrendous conditions, and it got us a win. But there's going to be some tough days, and I watched the game last night, York and Featherstone, and what an advert for the Championship that was. It was just brutal, and both sides did everything, and you just have to look at the quality that Featherstone have got, and they're more or less a Super League team, aren't they? Bottom end Super League team, and that's what they're aiming for, and that's the nature of the Championship. You've got the full-time top end, and you've got the part-time bottom end teams that are scrapping away for survival. So, it's going to be tough, but we're relishing the challenge. We've got a great group of players that are buying into it. We've got some good senior players, Gerard Stack, Gerard Samet, people like that who were fantastic for us, and we're pretty positive going into the season, but we'll just take it every game as it comes. We'll get some knockbacks, but it's how you react after them and treat the next game like it's your cup final.